What's up, everybody? This is Chris, aka Barn on 11970. Thank you as always for checking out my video. And it's funny how you could just be scrolling over your Facebook page, friends, and everything, and a lot of people that I subscribe to basically think the way I do, which is either good or bad, depending on your perspective. But somebody made a post that I thought was actually kind of interesting, and sometimes you just gotta see an obvious short little sentence to put things in proper perspective, especially the people that are so pro-government and think they do nothing wrong. And this is the sentence that this person wrote. They write, every drug that has been recalled by the FDA was first proven to be safe and effective by the FDA. And that really puts everything in proper perspective when you think about it. And it goes with some of the videos I made the other day about how governments, they could look the other way and approve certain things. May not be personally responsible for, like, for example, chemicals in your water and in your food and in your medicines, but they definitely approve them. So these are government-run programs. So I ask the people that are the ones that are so pro-government and think they do nothing wrong, is how can you explain something like the FDA, who approves chemicals in your water, who approves chemicals in your foods, who approve medicines that they say are safe and effective, only to have hundreds, if not thousands of them eventually being recalled and considered, some of them, incredibly dangerous? Is that incompetence? Or is that something where there's another form of agenda where people make profit off of other people's illnesses? And again, I don't have a problem with the concept of some government. There are things that need to have certain forms of regulation. Like, for example, to me, having a driver's license, if used in the right way, if it was created for the right reasons, would be a good thing. Because it makes sure that people who are qualified to be able to get into a vehicle have proof that they can do it safely. I believe in things like, for example, a doctor needing a license to practice operations and medicines. Because if you don't want just some stranger off the street who says, "Oh yeah, I can do open heart surgery on you," you want somebody that's qualified. So I don't have a problem with certain things. What I have a problem with is the people behind the system. And that's what some people may never understand when I talk about corruption in government. I'm not talking about government itself, because everything pretty much starts out with a good idea. It's the people that run it are what could potentially corrupt that system. And unfortunately, we see time and time again that they are not in favor of we the people, although they may say that. They are, just like anybody can ever say, actions speak louder than words. And they help governments. They help corporations. They help other politicians. They're not helping us little guys, other than saying very nice things that make us feel comfortable with them until they screw us over again. So ask yourself that question to anybody who believes that the government is there for your best intention. When it comes to medicines, just for that one example, they approve the very things that eventually get taken off the shelves. So are they doing it because they don't know any better, or are they doing it for another reason? And I'm not here to tell anybody how to think. I will present my point of view, and those who feel it resonates with them are going to come here naturally and gravitate towards it. I appreciate that. But I want people to make no mistake. When I talk about how I'm against government, I'm not against all government. I'm against corruption in government. When people look the other way for profits. When people destroy countries and citizens and people for money and for greed and for power. Because if there was no money on this planet, if there was a better way, what would we really need to fight for? If creations could be made, and you could see already with 3D printing that the possibilities of just creating things out of almost nothing is coming. And if we could have items that could create anything that we want, there would be no need for money. There would be no need for hunger. Because they have 3D printers that can create food. Now, as of now, that's just candy. But just imagine the potential of where that could go. And then the old system blows away. So make no mistake, I am for very limited forms of government to regulate the wrong people, because unfortunately this isn't a perfect world. There are going to be evil people. There have been throughout history. We have to be realistic. So there have to be some regulations. I believe if a person takes the life of another person, they should at least be imprisoned. And there should be people that have to take that responsibility of making sure that the majority of us are safe. And it should be volunteered. But it shouldn't be based on that person now gaining that authority and abusing it or being manipulated by others who may have a little bit more to offer them, and have them either look the other way or do things against what their oaths are supposed to be for. So when I talk about corruption in the police force or the military, I'm not saying every single one of them are corrupt. I have family that are police, and I know they're good. But it's the system that corrupts. And if you look the other way, then you're part of the problem. And I've been that way just as much as you've been that way. We all have. But if we try and do our best to get out of that system, we're making a difference. We're making a change. And that's important. So that's the message I want today. All the other stuff, as far as I'm concerned, I'm already past it. I'm moving on. Anybody else that makes videos like that, they're just being followers. So at least that one person that I had the issue with the video, at least he was original. So anybody else that does it, they're not going to gain my attention. So if you think you have a new plan, it just shows that you're a follower and just the typical sheep. So as far as I'm concerned, I appreciate the love that I get from my people. I appreciate the thoughts. I appreciate the people who disagree and do it in a way that's respectful. But I want you guys to think about the bigger picture. It's the corruption of the people that are in charge, that are ruining what could be potentially started out as good ideas. And that's the difference between education and wisdom. It's very smart. It takes a very smart person to create a nuclear device, to be able to take certain materials and certain chemicals and create something of that destructive force. That takes intelligence. But wisdom is the learning through pain of what shouldn't be done. And that's why I live in my mottos of just because you can doesn't mean you should. And you do the best that you can. And it showed earlier today that I can be as weak and as human as anyone else. And that's why I don't hide it. That's why I'm not ashamed of it. I embrace who I am, good and bad. Because if you just saw the good in me, then you're seeing only part of me, and that would be a facade. It would be fake. So some may not like my motives, the way I do things. Some may not like the way I talk or how I act. But at least you know it's real. And that's a lot less than what we could say for politicians, governments, and corporations out there who are selling your future and your family's future for that. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day. And I won't make the peace symbol today. I'll just say it. Peace.